Welcome to the Every Temple podcast, where we believe that every temple of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has a story and a legacy. Every member of the church has their favorite temples, and our quest is to talk about each one. My name is Tony, and my co-host Janelle and I are faithful members and friends who have embarked on this journey together. Latter-day Saints consider each temple to be a house of the Lord and the most sacred places of worship on the earth. The primary purpose of temples is for faithful members of the church to receive peace, inspiration, and spiritual power as they enter into sacred agreements with God in His holy house. This is our fourth episode of the first season. We are talking about pioneer temples, and the fourth temple is the beautiful Logan, Utah temple.
Yay!
Welcome, Janelle. How are things?
Awesome.
Good. But first, let's do some temple news. So the Casper, Wyoming temple was dedicated a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, lots of people excited about that.
Yeah, 201st. That's how you say that. My sister she lives up there, and she got to help at the open house. Her job was to stand in front of a painting so nobody would touch the painting.
Okay.
And her husband got to do a speaking part.
That's fun.
But she told me if you look at the pictures of the endowment room, the chairs are not bolted in. They are movable chairs. That means every sealing room can become an endowment room, and every endowment room can become a sealing room.
Oh.
Anything with an altar can do anything. They've put in a screen so that the sealing rooms could be used as an endowment room.
Interesting. They're thinking ahead.
Multi-purpose room.
Yeah, in case they need more endowments or...
Yeah, or if they have a big group for a sealing,
okay,
they could use one of the bigger rooms.
Wow.
So...
I wonder if it's a modular temple.
I bet it is, yeah.
Okay.
I bet it is.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's a really cool development that I haven't heard of before. They used Indian paintbrush and sagebrush, which is very, of the area.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. There's a lot of pioneer artwork, and it's the closest temple to Martin's Cove.
Yeah. Nice.
Elder Cook dedicated that because his great-great-grandfather was one of the boys that carried people over the rivers.
Oh, cool. Fun.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah.
One of my ancestors was part of the rescue party.
There you go. You and Elder Cook.
Yep. That's cool. I went there and I found his name on the plaque that they have there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Any other news that we know of? There's so much little news. There's always, this temple was groundbroken. This temple was planned. The place has been announced.
Yeah.
There's always stuff like that, but I can't keep up with it all.
Yeah.
Suffice it to say, there's a lot going on. And I think there's going to be 1 or 2 more dedications before the end of the year.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think.
That's fun.
Tallahassee, maybe?
Because it is December.
Right.
Even though this might not be playing in December.
Right. Nobody's listening to this when we're doing it. Okay, so let's jump into today's temple. On a visit to Cache Valley in 1863, President Young told the youth, "You will have the privilege of going into the towers of a glorious temple built unto the name of the Most High, east of us upon the Logan bench. And while you stand in the towers of the temple, and your eyes survey this glorious valley filled with cities and villages, occupied by tens of thousands of Latter-day Saints, you will then call to mind this visit of Brigham Young and his company." So that was in 63, 13 years before he actually announced the temple. He was just like, we're going to, spoiler alert, there will be a temple there.
But cool.
Yeah.
And there are lots of people.
Yeah. That valley for sure filled up. So 13 years later, President Young announced a temple in Cache Valley. He also explained the idea of temple districts. So at this point, there are almost 3 temples. Actually, none of them had been dedicated at this point. In 1876.
Right.
Nothing's dedicated. But St. George has a temple. Salt Lake has a temple that's getting built. And Cache Valley needed a temple. So he's just like, this is how temple districts work. We're going to divide up the state.
Yeah. And Manti is in the works because I think Manti groundbreaking was a month after this groundbreaking.
Yeah, they were really close together. It's all being from Utah County, I'm like, but what about us? But it's fine. I won't take it personally. So they did this groundbreaking in May 1877. This is just a month after St. George was dedicated. And they broke ground on Manti the month before. So they did the groundbreaking in Manti first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So up until that was actually major, that there were 2 groundbreakings within a month.
Yeah.
Because since there was only 3 temples, 2 temples, I don't know.
Yeah. We did 2 in 1 year.
Awesome.
Good job. That's probably not happened. I mean, it didn't happen much after that either.
Yeah.
I didn't get much information about the construction of this temple, like the nitty gritty. There were no cannons used as pile driver or anything. But the stones all came pretty locally, quarries nearby.
Yeah, from the Logan Canyon. And I read somewhere that they liked to do it in the winter because it was easier to put the stone on a sled on the snow rather than horses.
Rather than wheels.
Yes.
Because I think wheels would break.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. I agree. That's a heavy thing. They didn't actually own the land. The church didn't own the land they were going to put it on. But the thing was, like, everybody knew that's where the temple was going to be. So they just, like, used it as a park until the temple was going to be built. Even, like, a year after the groundbreaking, like, construction's going on, and they're like, yeah, can we buy that land we're already working on? So
those are the days.
Yeah, that's the church way. Let's see. They said everything was voluntary. They did have some craftsmen that came in and helped. Yeah. It says like $600,000 worth of time, goods, materials, that kind of stuff. So
they had volunteers from the natives help on there. And a man named Sagwitch, and I don't know if I'm saying
I think right. Sagwitch, yes.
And some of the Shoshan saints, about 200 of them, had joined the church 11 years before then, or before the Logan temple dedication. Anyways, the natives had created a little town called Washaki, and they worshipped in their own ward there, and they would travel to Logan in their spare time, and they helped haul stone and prepare plaster for the walls, and they said they donated thousands of hours. The natives did. That's
really cool.
Yeah.
The tribe, and they talked about them being like very good at temple work because they could trace their genealogy.
Yes, they did a lot of temple work after that. Yeah. After it was dedicated, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
And they still think the Logan temple is like their temple. That's what my sister told me. She told me about Sagwitch, and she said they still prefer to go to that temple.
I don't blame them.
Yeah. So I think that's cool.
Yeah.
So the head architect was Truman Angel again. He's the architect that did Salt Lake and St. George. And it's a beautiful castle on the hill, and it's so unique and so beautiful. They started out that it was pink. They painted it creamy pink. And I wonder how long until they were like, this is too much work to keep it updated or to keep it maintained. Because by the early 1900s, they were just like,
it was wearing off.
Yeah, let's just not do that again. But it looks so beautiful with the dark stone.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if there's any other temples that are dark like that.
Yeah, that's true. So we'll have to see as we go through. The walls were originally painted with murals. And it was the first temple where they had done that.
Okay.
So...
And the first one where they made rooms that were a progression throughout the and down with the murals and stuff. So...
Yeah. So, good job. I think that was really good. They were removed during the renovation more recently, in the 70s. So, with the new renovation coming up, fingers crossed. Okay, so...
I am really hoping they go back.
I know. So, the original size of the temple is 59,000 square feet, which is pretty much identical with St. George. And it does have an assembly room on the top floor.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I didn't know that. What else?
I guess when they renovate it and rededicate it, we can go up there.
That's right. Now I'm motivated. As completion of the temple neared, women in the area were asked to make carpets for the temple. The women spent 2 months working to hand make 2,144 square yards of carpet.
Isn't that amazing?
It's a lot. I don't know how to make carpet.
That's what I thought. I'm like, how do you make carpet?
I don't know.
And that's because they couldn't have it shipped. There was no way to get carpet to Utah. So, and that much carpet, can you imagine?
Right, yeah. It's a lot of carpet. Yeah. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Good job, women.
Yep.
In 1917, they put in electric lights, which led to a fire. There was a fire in the stairwell. It caused some damage, and took about 4 months to fix.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard more recently that maybe during COVID, somebody broke into the temple. I couldn't find the article, though. So here's a cool story. You know, Elder Packer, President Packer, his wife, Donna, her grandfather lived in Brigham City, and for 2 years he would walk to Logan, 22 miles over the mountains, work all week at the temple, and then walk home on Saturday. He did that for 2 years. And so now they do that as a family reunion.
He is not the only man that walked to
No.
work on a temple.
I don't think so. Yeah.
So,
I think there's been a lot.
That'll come up again.
Okay, we're going to hear more of that kind of.
Yeah, that's cool. That's long. I did a temple walk like that. It was longer than 22 miles.
Where? What? Tell us the story.
We went to, it was when Calgary was being dedicated. Maybe we should say this when the Calgary ones come up. I'll say it again. Anyway, there was a young woman project, and she wanted to do a temple walk in honor of one of these men that had walked that far to work on the temple. So
that's cool.
Yeah, it was a long day. It was a lot of walking.
Yeah.
That's amazing that their family does it for a family reunion.
Well, just once. Just once.
Oh, just once.
Well, I don't know if they do it every year, but they wrote a
they did at least
church
once.
news article about them.
That's really cool.
Do we have any other stories? Do you have any?
Yeah. So the primary children in Cache Valley raised $2,300. Can you imagine the primary children doing that? So they'd have a nickel drive, and to help raise funds, and the children would donate nickels and dimes to the fund to help pay for building materials. And I'm like, that is a lot of candy back then.
Yeah, that's true.
Or whatever they'd buy. I can't imagine these children doing this.
And it reminds me of the Nauvoo temple, I think, where you said they did a penny drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and then during the construction process, a young boy approached the work site to view the building. A guard had been tasked with keeping the young children away from the scaffolding for their safety. However, the young boy protested, stating that he had paid his nickel for the temple and felt he had a right to view the construction. And so the guard changed his mind and allowed the young boy a chance to stand on the scaffold.
Yeah. That boy was firm in his faith.
Yeah. Isn't that neat that the children were involved with the construction and they felt ownership in that? That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could do more of that.
I agree.
They say, like, take the primary children to go touch the temple. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But could they do something more?
Yeah. You know, it's harder to think of things.
It is harder.
It's the sacrifice they gave, right? They gave their nickel, they sacrificed. And so how can we get our children and youth to feel that? I'm
ownership of the temple.
But that's something to think about.
Yeah. Okay. In the dedication, it was dedicated by President John Taylor. And he said, as thou hast said, among other things pertaining to thine house, that in it we were to seek diligently and teach one another words of wisdom. Yea, seek ye out of the best books words of wisdom. Seek learning by study and also by faith. And thou hast further instructed us to become acquainted with all good books and with languages, tongues, and people, and obtain a knowledge of nations, kingdoms, governments, and laws. And thou hast declared that there is a time to come in which nothing will be withheld, whether there be one God or many gods, that they shall be manifest. So there were about 3 or 4 paragraphs about learning, revelation, this kind of thing. So they're thinking, why don't we have what they had in Kirtland, a school in the temple?
Okay.
So they start this thing called the Logan Temple Association, because they wanted to replicate that. And they called it a school of science for the promotion of learning, which would teach a variety of subjects, but refrain from teaching anything that might deny the existence of God. So it started in 1885, so a year after the temple was dedicated. They had 155 students.
Okay.
But they disbanded in 1912. I don't know much more about it, but the Utah State University was started like right after this. Well, they would call it the Agricultural College of Utah. Started accepting students in 1890. So this is right then.
Nice.
And it's a good little place. I went there for a year.
So where did they meet, this group?
I don't know. In the top room? I don't know.
In the temple?
It doesn't say. Yeah, they would meet in the temple, though, because they wanted it to be like the School of the Prophets in Kirtland.
I think we forget that education was really a huge thing for them because it wasn't as accessible as it is to us here now. Like, if you want people to progress, education is a huge part of that. And I think we just take that for granted now because we put our children in school at very young ages. And anyways, so they put a lot of emphasis on education in schools and stuff. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. And you're right. We got to, even still, the church emphasizes education and they want us to learn. And I listened to some podcasts about all the arms of the church educational system do different things.
Yeah.
BYU does something. BYU Idaho does something else. They have a different pathway, a different focus. Pathways is another one where people can do a different path. You know, it's just different. The Ensign College of Business, is that a thing? Yeah, that's a different, like, there's all these avenues that the church is like, we have something for everyone.
Yeah. And the Perpetual Education Fund.
Yeah.
Trying to educate, make it easy for people around the world to get an education in some parts where it's harder. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, love it. Okay, they also did refer in the dedication to leaders of the nation, and they weren't very nice about them. But this was this is during the polygamy fight.
Oh, yeah.
So this is right smack dab in the middle of that. In 1890, so just a few years after this, the manifesto was revealed and polygamy is officially shut down at the church level. So it's just interesting that, you know, we thought they were through persecution, but no, it's still there and they still feel it and they're still going to put it in their dedication.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the renovations. 1976, same as with St. George, they said all the pioneer temples are going to get renovated, I guess.
Okay. So, yeah, they had to add the video equipment.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at this temple, they just tore everything out. They just gutted the whole thing.
And like took the roof off and stuff.
Roof off. It was just exterior walls.
Yeah.
Which is heartbreaking. It kind of reminds me of when they did the Provo Tabernacle.
Yeah.
Because it had burned down.
Yeah.
But so they removed everything. The murals were removed, and President Kimball did express regret that so much of the pioneer craftsmanship was lost, which is so sad. And it was redone in the style of the 70s, which is fine for them. But I am so excited for the next renovation.
I am too. When I read that, I was sad.
Yeah, I was way sad. So we're definitely going to go to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have some predictions.
Yeah?
Because we haven't heard when it's going to start yet. So here's my predictions.
Okay.
I predict we will hear about it this year.
Okay.
And that or next year.
Yeah.
2025. We'll hear about it. I predict the murals will be repainted.
Yeah.
And I predict it will be beautiful.
Yeah.
And I predict that Elder Cook will dedicate it.
Okay. All right.
Because he's from there.
Okay.
Do you have any predictions?
Yeah, that they would go back to the pioneer.
Yeah.
Gorgeous stuff.
Aesthetic stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. I think, and we'll go see it, and we'll go see the assembly hall.
Yeah, that's exciting. I know. I can't wait. I don't know. I wonder if they're waiting. Isn't there what's the little town near there that they're?
Well, that's right. Smithfield had one announced,
and there's another tiny little town. I don't know why I can't remember it. By Bear Lake, kind of.
Garden City.
Is not coming to my head.
That's okay.
But little town near there that.
Are they getting a temple?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So I want to say Preston, but it's not. That.
Is it on the Utah side?
Yeah, I think so. I should have done my homework.
That's okay.
Never mind.
There's always something that we think we should have researched more.
Yeah, but maybe they're waiting for that to get built.
Well, I think they were waiting to do their tabernacle first. Mm-hmm. So they just redid the inside of the tabernacle down there. And that was rededicated in August of this year.
Okay.
By Elder Cook. So I think they are probably mapping things, planning things, seeing what needs to be done. Yeah. And we'll hear about it in the next few months.
Good. Awesome.
Yes. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah. I found a quote I really liked. It must have been something from the 1970s.
Dedication,
because they had a lot of future prophets at that.
Well, that's right.
But this was from Elder Hinckley at the time. He says, I know of no work in all the world more unselfish than what is done in the temples. He said, it is done in behalf of those who are dead, motivated by doctrine that the dead cannot help themselves. And then he added, the work more closely approaches the Spirit of Christ than any other service I can conceive of. And I just liked that. I'm like, yeah, it is unselfish. But then I'm like, well, I like how I feel when I go there.
I know. It's hard to say that you don't get something out of it, but you don't materially get anything out of it.
Yeah.
You're just giving your time.
And you don't know these people that you're going through for usually.
Yeah.
And you're just having faith that this is helping somebody who has passed on that can't do it for themselves. Yeah. And that hope and Yeah, it is unselfish, and I really liked the thought in that. I have one more thing.
Go ahead, yeah.
I went to the Church History Museum, and the upstairs they have the art displayed. Right. And so I was there recently, and there's this little, I don't know what they call it, but a piece of art, kind of. It looks like a poster, really, but maybe a poster on metal. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Okay.
And it was found in the basement of the Logan Temple. And it says, Mormon Creed, mind your own business. Saints will observe this. All others ought to.
Sassy temple sign. Oh my gosh.
I'm kind of like, why was that in the basement of the Logan Temple? But also, let's print this out again. Let's live by this again.
That's so funny.
So, here.
Let's see it. Mind your own business. Saints will observe this. All others ought to.
Mind your business. Just mind your business. And I can't remember where that's from, but
it's like a really ornate poster. It's not like a...
Yeah, okay, let me see. It's a painted and gilded glass.
Wow.
Circa 1884.
Yeah, so that's when it was dedicated.
Yes. So I don't know if it was up in the temple somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, that's funny. But it's nice. It looks like it should be on display somewhere.
Yes.
I don't think they put it in the temple, but maybe in
maybe somewhere
nearby.
Yeah.
They did have a shed next door where they parked their animals.
Yes.
And then it didn't need to be there anymore. So
well, I think we should just post this again. Mind your business.
We should just get somebody to make those and sell them on Etsy.
Uh-huh.
And put it up in my office here.
Isn't that great?
It is good.
Maybe in the when we got the Instagram, I can put it in there.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Send it to me.
Okay,
so let's go through all of our stats and close this out. The announcement of the temple was by Brigham Young, October 1876. Groundbreaking, 1877. Dedication, May 1884 by John Taylor, which led me to a fun fact. Fun fact, how many temples did Brigham Young dedicate?
0.
He dedicated site dedication, and he did dedicate parts of the Nauvoo temple because they did it in parts as it was finished.
Okay.
But he never dedicated a full temple.
Wow.
That's our fun fact. Rededicated March 1979 by Spencer W. Kimball. It's on 9 acres. It has dark siliceous limestone, an extremely hard stone and compact in nature. Features 2 attached end towers. It has 4 instruction rooms with a separate veil room, 11 sealing rooms, and 1 baptistry. Do we predict 2 baptistries?
Maybe. They're starting to do that.
Maybe. That's a pretty good idea. Originally 59,000 square feet. Now it is almost 120 square feet. 120,000 square feet.
More than that.
And I think in the future it will be even more. It's 170 feet tall. And yeah.
And it is beautiful. I actually went there a couple months ago. I didn't go inside, but we walked around the grounds and it's really beautiful.
Yeah. The only time I've been in, I think, was for my brother's wedding, which is weird because I lived there for a while.
Yeah.
But I just never, it was too busy, I guess, to go in. But yeah, can't wait to see what the future holds for the Logan Temple.
Yeah.
All right, that's all we have for the Logan, Utah Temple. I have been there to visit, but hope to visit again soon. If you have some great stories about this or another upcoming Pioneer Temple, please share it with us on our Instagram at Every Temple Podcast. If you want to know more about why we build temples and the role they play in our religion, please visit churchofjesuschrist.org/temples. We are not sponsored by or affiliated with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.